Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Mick Alfany. We're going to begin here with a little bit of XRP news. We're going to have a little Stellar news later. Why is that? I feel like Stellar is very sneaky. I really do. They try to sneak little things past us and not say things, but there will be chapters in here if you want to jump around. Also, if you enjoy this video, just if you enjoy it, click that like button down below. I would greatly appreciate that. I humbly ask you, okay? So let's begin here. Check this out. This article is titled, Tokenized Government Bonds Free Up Liquidity in Traditional Financial Systems. Just that sentence alone should tell you a lot. Haven't we been talking about things like this? We said everything's going to be tokenized. That doesn't exclude the government. The governments are going to benefit the most from these DLT systems. So even when you have these insane fudders come out, there's one or two rogue agents of the governments come out and they're like, well, and they say, well, crypto bad, DLT's bad. Like, no, that's just to throw the retail investors off, because we see the documents, transcripts, meetings. We see the implementation and the testing of the distributed ledger technologies by them en masse. So this article is titled, Tokenized Government Bonds Free Up Liquidity. What does that tell you? They have we keep saying this. They have a liquidity issue, a problem, liquidity crisis. It's already rearing its ugly head. We covered articles before that showed you that a lot of what they have has been rendered illiquid. Who has the solution to that? Who has that liquidity solution? Who can always provide liquidity? XRP. On-demand liquidity. On demand. We can create the biggest liquidity cushion. There's no limitation. None. Other than what the people want to issue on the chain. Than what they want to pull into XRP. There's no limitation. So whatever they need, theoretically speaking, it is possible to produce. You think they're going to, and on-demand liquidity is patented, so nobody else can use it. No one. That's key. You think they're going to turn that down? They are in such trouble you won't believe. When it comes to liquidity, they are in such trouble like you wouldn't believe, especially with the de-dollarization of the world. You saw, I covered in the last video, Ghana, oh, sneaky Stellar. Sneaky. If you didn't watch that last video, watch that last video, okay? Sneaky Stellar. But you saw what I covered about Ghana paying for oil with gold. And then, of course, sneaky Stellar XDC. Obviously, in my humble opinion, because of actions they've taken, they show they want a piece of that. They want a piece of that. Uganda also. I think it was Uganda also. Sneaky Stellar. But you can't get it. You can't sneak something past me. That's not going to happen. I'm on you, Stellar. I'm on you. Just my humble opinion. I'm just sharing research. Okay, that's it. Not a financial advisor. It's not financial advice. All right. But free up liquidity. There's a liquidity crisis. It's getting worse by the day. They have no answer for everyone starting to utilize gold. They have no answer for it. Their currency is backed by nothing. How can you hold a system in high regard that is backed by nothing? And then how do you hold in high regard the intelligences that thought it was smart to back their currency with nothing? Petrodollar, that's over. They're killing the oil industry. You do know that, right? Even though the rest of the world is still going to be using it. India's been buying 40% of their oil from Russia. So that's not going to stop, bro. They're going to do what they want to do. And the BRICS nations march to the beat of their own drum. That's so yes. But the West is killing the oil industry. So the petrodollar is over. Like there's no way that can continue. That's not possible. That's not going to happen. Then on top of that, like I said, you have nations that are starting to try to develop currencies that are backed by gold. You have nations that are going to be paying for things in gold now. I think a lot of regular people out there are going to do the same thing. Why wouldn't they? Gold is so safe right now. It's so safe. You get in at a low, it's so safe. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm not saying that. I'm just sharing my thoughts. But gold is so safe. Why would you not have a gold card and then you buy some gold and you could even have it tokenized and then you're just spending that value outright? on your gold card. I think a lot of nations are going to do that. Gold is like the default reserve currency of the world. If ever you have to fall back to something, gold. And I think we're going to see, well, we'll cover a lot of other stuff later on, but frees up liquidity. It says in traditional financial systems, they have a problem. For everything that they're saying about crypto, the traditional financial system is so rigged. It's so broke and broken. Like they don't, someone can say they have money. Of course, we want to take that value since they want to pretend they have some value. They want to pretend because they're dealing with fiat currency. So, I mean, that's questionable. Value is just, where is it deriving its value? Just because they said it has value, really. That's it. I mean, you could tell me different in the comment section and I'll respect your thoughts. It's like, I'm not here to force you to agree with me at all. But because of that, they have a massive issue. It's actually quite startling to me how many people still love and believe in this system. It's all fantasy. It's all fantasy. That's why I have a laugh when they point at crypto and say FTX and BlockFi. Oh, look what they're doing. Oh my goodness. I know the banks aren't saying that. I know your government isn't saying that. What? Because anybody can look at your system and see the massive flaws. There was an old saying, what the old people used to say, it's like the pot calling the kettle black, right? Come on now. Fire calling lava hot, right? Let's read this little tidbit here. But when it comes to tokenized government bonds, come on now. Do you know the bank coins are going to be in deep in this? The governments are already in deep with Ripple. They're already in deep with Stellar. They're already in deep with Algorand. And now they're already deep with Hedera. We have let me not leave out Quant. Because they are in deep with Quant. Sometimes I forget Quant because they operate more so in the European sector. They're in so deep with the bank coins. Maybe some of you don't know. Let me give you some stuff and you can research. Ripple's on the Faster Payments Council of the United States, right? That's one. They're on another one. They're on the Faster Payments Task Force for the Fed. That's two. They're on the Digital Euro Association. That's three. They're on the Digital Pound Foundation. That's four. They're on the advisory board of the IMF. Look all of this up. Don't just take my word for it. Look it up and see for yourself. I want you to see. Seeing is believing. It changes everything when you see for yourself. Oh, yes. A lot of my people have experienced that. When they see something for themselves, they're like, woo. It's one thing for me to say it. It's another for you to actually see. They're on the advisory board for the IMF, which is hilarious because the IMF at times will try to convince you, oh, no, crypto. No, we don't support crypto. They're the main ones that sat in all of those presentations. We even saw the slides for a presentation before they tried to delete it and everything. But some of my people downloaded it. They're the main ones sitting in presentations with Ripple, testing out the systems, having Ripple on their advisory board. But the first ones to tell you, oh, no, crypto bad. Crypto is bad. You shouldn't be involved in crypto. It's a financial risk. Meanwhile, all the articles we've covered so many articles over the last few weeks telling you that the banks and large financial institutions, non-banking financial institutions as well, are accumulating crypto. You see the games that they're playing? Oh, they're playing little games, but that doesn't work on us. We're too wise for that. It doesn't work on us. Now, so it frees up liquidity in the traditional financial systems. They lack that. That's why they want so badly to get in deep with the bank coins, because we have corridors where they don't have it. But that also tells you that anybody that can provide liquidity right now, I would think logically that price is going to go up. It's a matter of time. For systems to change, it takes a little bit of time. It doesn't happen overnight. These are not meme coins. These are long holes. Through and through, long holes. These are not meme coins. These are not rug pulls. This is none of that stuff. We're not like those other crypto. You can't bring that mentality here. These are long. It's up to you what you do with that information. I know I'm in here. I'm in this to the end. Simple as that. That's just my stance. It doesn't have to be your stance. You have to make decisions for yourself. Free your mind. Don't let these people out here control you. Free your mind. Let's scroll down here because this is an interesting article. I have so many articles, by the way, but I want to get into this because it's so good. A handful of government-backed financial institutions have been exploring tokenization use cases. We know that. We've covered that here extensively. To revolutionize traditional financial systems. For instance, El Salvador's Bitcoin volcanic bond project has been in the works for over a year. It aims to raise $1 billion from investors. The Central Bank of Russia has also expressed interest in tokenized off-chain assets. Well, I posted something in the members only section. You can go ahead and read about that. But Russia is doing a whole lot more than that. A whole lot more than that. Cointelegraph's research 2021 security token report found that most securities, we were talking about this, will be tokenized by 2030. That's not that far away. Do you understand the money we're talking about, the capital, the value that we're talking about? You don't want a piece of that? Hey, I don't know what you want. I need a piece of that. I'm going to have a piece of that. I see Ripple getting a piece of that. XRP getting a piece of that. I believe XLM might get a piece of that. Algorand might get a piece of that. LCX, I'm going to put LCX out there again. I have to. Because they literally, look it up for yourself, okay? They literally are trying to specialize. Not only are they becoming a bank, they're trying to specialize in the tokenization of securities. They are one of the most regulated exchanges in the world. So LCX could get a piece of a big chunk of this, actually. Especially when the dust settles and there's only a few regulatory compliant and trustworthy exchanges left. And LCX is going to be one of the most trusted because it's so, just read up on it yourself. They have so many different ways that they comply already. It's already done, right? And they have met like most of the requirements for becoming a bank. So there's that. It says, while notable, the potential behind tokenized government bonds appears to be massive as these, and we're talking trillions of dollars. What does it do to that price? If XRP gets a piece of that, if XLM gets a piece of that, Algorand gets a piece of that, I think that they will. Who's going to be left standing when the dust is settled when we're talking about crypto? And even out of those who are left standing out of the utility coins, I believe the bank coins are going to be the most trusted. Who are you going to trust more than who the banks are using and who the governments are using? No one. As a business, no one. They're going to trust the bank coin. Simple as that. And we have the use cases to back us up. We already have the experience. We roll out infrastructures like that. You don't want the actual infrastructure set up just yet? No problem. We're going to deliver to you a ready-to-use sandbox. Hbar style, MTech style. We will issue you a ready-to-use sandbox. And you could test everything out in a real world setting, but it's in a sandbox. So there's no way that anything can be done that's damaging to you. I don't know how to put that eloquently, but you get what I'm saying, right? So trillions of dollars we're talking about here. This is huge money, huge. I think we also covered an article recently where Ripple was talking about this as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think we did, didn't we? But it says Brian Estes, CEO of Off-Chain Capital, a member of the Chamber of Digital Commerce, told Cointelegraph that tokenizing a bond allows for faster settlement. Yeah, you don't say, sir. Which leads to reduced costs. My goodness, it's like they're just discovering all of this, but it doesn't matter as long as it leads to us. Hopefully, no guarantees, but as long as it leads to us taking that bank money, the bond money, securities money, whatever, it doesn't matter. I want all of it. We're going to tokenize everything. I want all of it. Don't you? Real estate, we're going to get into that in a second. I want all that real estate money as well. We're going to take everything. Tokenization of debt. You see it happening now. Now they're coming out and talking about it. They're talking about it right here. Says the time of capital at risk becomes reduced. Now all of a sudden we're worried about capital at risk. What happened in your legacy system? Why didn't you come up with a solution for that then? Because they don't. People keep putting so much trust in the governments and the banks when they don't innovate. They only take from entities and individuals who innovate. They steal from them pretty much. That's what I feel. They try to get their cut. They take advantage of those systems. So this is another reason I say that, because this is another reason why you should not let these outsiders bring crypto down. No, keep the outsiders where they are. Like, let's draw a distinction. Not all crypto is the same. But they try to take down the systems so that they can absorb the pieces that they need. That's how it usually works. Okay, so now let's move on to another article. This is from Cointelegraph.com, by the way. Go over there, check them out. This is a great article. There's so much here. I can just keep scrolling. So if you want to give this a read, head over to Cointelegraph.com and give this a read. Like I said, also, if you like this video so far, I would appreciate it. Humbly ask. You don't have to. Humbly ask. Click that like button. Let's move on to this article here. Ripple drop episode 28. This is on ripple.com. Did you see this? We've been talking about this here. We've been talking about it in the members only section. We've been talking about it in the regular subscriber videos. Interoperability and blockchain. This, let me tell you something. The interoperability issue is one of our greatest assets because the governments and banks haven't solved that. They don't know how to do what we do. They don't have it. They don't have the bridgeless APIs like Quant. They don't have interoperability like XRP or XLM. They don't have that seamless flow. They can't build corridors where people don't have banks and don't have certain connectivity because we have the QR code things and we're blockchain, so we can do offline payments. Ripple has that. Come on, they don't have any of that. But let's read this a little bit. They've been telling on themselves. Look at their experiments. Their experiments are limited to their bank networks. It doesn't go outside of that. It's very limited. It's very limited. Their capabilities. Good. We've stayed ahead of them. I told you last year, I said, we need to stay ahead of them, stay ahead of the curve. Then we will always be in a power position. And we have been. So let's go here. And it says, the state of interoperability today. Blockchain interoperability refers to a range of techniques that helps blockchains communicate through seamless transfer of data, enabling improved collaboration and efficient transfer of digital assets. So should we try to read all of this all at one time? Let's see if we can get through that like Ace Ventura style. The objective of interoperability is how do we have it all? How can we use our value in all these different ways without needing to have these silo ecosystems, says Mayuka. Many blockchain projects are currently working on interoperability, and Mayuka explains that there are several approaches to facilitating interactions between blockchains. One approach is layer 0 projects, which are essentially an underlying blockchain design to act as a connector for other layers. That was all in one breath. Hey, give me my credit. That was all in one breath. That was pretty impressive. I got to let the people say that, right? I'm not supposed to say that myself. No, I'm not waiting on the people. That was impressive. Come on now. Oh, you're hating. That was very impressive. Ace Ventura style. You try it one time. Try Ace Ventura style to read anything. Drew, you try it one time. Set yourself free. Have a little bit of fun. You got to have a little bit of fun. You know, relax, breathe, have a little fun. Okay, so let's get back to the business here. Cross-chain, but look what he said. Let's break that down. Look what he said. The objective of interoperability is how do we have it all? How can we use our value in all these different ways without needing to have silo ecosystems? I'm glad he said that. That's exactly what they have right now. They still have siloed ecosystems. They have not solved that problem. It says here. XRPL interoperability through sidechains. Ripple is hard at work on a production release of sidechains that will run parallel to the XRPL mainnet if adopted by the XRP community, and it will be. This functionality, hopefully it will be. This functionality would allow developers to implement new features on versions of the XRPL designed to suit specific technical needs, such as for smart contracts. Let's scroll down here just a little bit. The possibilities are extensive. A sidechain can be strictly permissioned. And that's key. That's for the governments, for the banks, or nearly permissionless, public or private. A sidechain, and keep in mind when it comes to the private aspects, that David Schwartz himself said that XRP cannot be one price elsewhere and another price publicly on a public ledger, or however you want to put that. But he said that XRP will be one price across the board. This is what David Schwartz said. You can find that tweet. You can look it up. All right. So a sidechain could even operate without transaction fees or reserve requirements. The banks would gobble that up. or could add new, and that doesn't stop the burning of XRP anyway, so that doesn't matter to us, or could add new transaction types and functionality for storing large chunks of data on Ledger. So they have not solved this issue. This is why the XRPL Ripple is working hard to go even further, because they know that this is what the banks are going to need. Not only that, they're definitely going to need it because you're going to have a massive swath of all of the different markets taken over by crypto. 100%. The bank coins, 100%. They're going to take over a huge swath of the financial markets. So they're going to need that capital to be able to flow back and forth between the legacy system offerings and the crypto offerings, the DLTs, not really crypto. Let's say DLTs, distributed ledger technology offerings. They're going to need that. That's where you get XRP comes in with interoperability. Quant comes in with overledger, gluing together the legacy system and the new financial system, right? They need all of that. And let's be thankful that it's still that way and we continue to advance. This is why I always keep a fire underneath the backside of these blockchains to say, hey, keep working hard, keep doing a good job. And I tell them good job, because you have to keep the people inspired and motivate them, right? And they have been doing a great job. That's why we are ahead of the governments and the central banks. And we will, my humble opinion, we will take that bank money. Let's go on. Let's continue on here. We have this article here, and I want to read this little piece. It's very, very interesting. Very, 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 very key in my humble opinion. So it says here, Project Cedar Phase 2, Ubin Plus, will examine how CBDCs could improve the efficiency and reduce the settlement risk of cross-border wholesale, not retail, wholesale. So before, earlier in the video, we're talking more about retail, right? Retail CBDCs and their retail capabilities, which is terrible right now. In my humble opinion, is terrible, right? That's where the interoperability, where we dominate, and they're definitely going to need us. Wholesale is a little bit different because that's basically between the banks and institutions and such, right? But let's read this little tidbit here. It says, reduce the settlement risk of cross-border wholesale payments using multiple currencies. Gilbert Verdian, Quant, and founder of Quant, CEO and founder of Quant, says CBDCs use underlying distributed ledger technology that is well placed to solve many settlement issues. The joint project primarily focuses on the data structure and format of CBDCs, specifically how to improve, sorry about that, atomic settlement on similar types of currency ledgers. Once again, like I said, to bring together all of those ledgers, to bring together all of those different technologies, they're going to need something like Quant, XRP. This is my humble opinion. It says, quote, this experiment enables interoperability and security, giving each central bank participant jurisdictional autonomy. So all of these offerings will be different. It's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. So then we have this article here on quant.network, and it says, tokenizing assets from real estate to private credit. Private equity and hedge funds are likely to attract the most interest, but private credit and real estate are also well placed. Last year, French asset manager Mada Capital tokenized more than euro 350 million of real estate assets in one of Europe's largest real estate token issues. Wow, that's a lot. In private credit, Lynx Capital Investments tokenized a portfolio of senior secured loans on Token City and Oakland, stating, quote, credit managers like Lynx are using our system as a substitute for securitization, tokenizing credit rights as opposed to selling bonds. We are also speaking to fund managers and SMEs operating in the real estate and renewable energy space. We believe these two areas will see a lot of tokenization. That's a lot of money that we're going to be moving. This is by Quant. What does it do to that price of Quant when everything is up and running and we're moving this type of value, real estate, bonds, securities, real estate? Look at how much they covered in just a small paragraph. This is a very good article also on quant.network if you want to check it out. It says another private manager to leap forward is Singapore-based Seatown. Last November, it onboarded the Seatown private credit feeder fund onto the private Market Exchange, ADDX. In doing so, it reduced the investment minimum for accredited investors from $5 million to $20,000. What? Hold on. What? That's a heck of a difference. Opening the fund to a new set of investors. I bet 20,000. That's it. That's it. Holy smoke. Some people got the opportunity of a lifetime. I'm assuming. If everything's going well, I'm assuming. That's a heck of a difference. Holy smokes. But you see the difference? This is why they're all jumping into the bank coins, because they see how things like this, going from $5 million to become an accredited investor, that's their investment minimum was $5 million to $20,000. That's what we can do. They're all going to get a piece of this. They're all going to jump in to the bank coins. Those prices are going to explode. In my humble opinion, this is not financial advice, not a financial advisor. Make your own decisions. All right. But I just wanted to read that little tidbit because I thought it was very interesting. Holy smokes. This shows you how delicious these technologies are to the governments and the banks. So now let's continue on here. So when we have a little bit from MTech never sleeps. They never stop working. I love this organization. They're always pushing Hbar everywhere as an infrastructure for CBDCs. They're always coming out with some good news. I love that. And it says here, MTech, thank you at Sinbank. Sinbank, what's that? For the exciting opportunity to unveil what's to come in digitizing the CBNs. I wonder what that is. Regulatory sandbox with our API first platform. Let's find out what is Sinbank. I don't know. I don't know what a Sinbank is. Sorry, was that a good stutter? I don't. Now they do that in the movies. I don't know. Like, I'm getting pretty good actually. Sinbank, Central Bank of Nigeria. What? How many banks has Hbar? Not Hbar. Sorry about that. Hbar by way of MTech. How many banks has MTech talked to us about over the last few months? Holy smokes! And MTech was assisting with the digital dollar. Assisting with. We have to see what's going to come of that, but that is good. Central Bank of Nigeria. I love Nigeria, by the way. Oh yeah. They're doing good over there. They're going to explode over there. But we'll talk about that another time. It says, this is Central Bank of Nigeria. Thank you for attending the maiden edition of the International Financial Inclusion. This is a little subtweet underneath MTech's tweet. They were working with the central bank. The Sinbank is the Central Bank of Nigeria. Keep doing a good job, MTech. Obviously, they're led by the esteemed Carmel Cadet, one of our winners. I like what they're doing. Let's continue on to the next article here. All right, and then we get to Stellar. Sneaky, Stellar. Sneaky. As Stellar.org is aiming to bring real-world adoption, real-world blockchain solutions that create financial access for everyone. Oh, that's nice. I like a piece of that value. I'm going to have a giant chunk of that piece. Oh, trust me on this. It says, we welcome them as a 5-block sponsor in Austin. Everything about this is strategic. I'm going to show you. In Austin next April. Wait a minute. Pause right there. Before we even go deep into this, do you remember when Danelle Dixon was in front of Congress and she was doing what she does, bringing home the victory, educating the ignorant, the politicians, educating the fools? And do you remember at the end of one of those governmental meetings that anybody can watch on the internet anywhere, you can look it up and watch it yourself, there was a political official who said that they would want to speak with Danelle a little bit more later on. That's called a meeting. They wanted a meeting with Danelle. Where was that politician from? If I remember correctly, and I'm just going off my memory now, maybe I remember wrong, but I remember that politician being from Texas. Texas. And here, of all the different panels that Stellar could attend, there's a lot of them going on. A lot of them. They attend this one here in Austin, Texas. And they can get a lot done all at one time, couldn't they? Right. Everything is for a reason. Every effect has a cause. Every cause gives rise to its effects. But let's go a little further. Because this is Consensus 2023 that's making this post. Let's go a little bit further. So they're in Austin, where Stellar is already, according to my memory, already loved in Texas. Remember, I use Algorand as an example of how Algorand already is operating with the states. Algorand is deep in Florida. Miami Accelerator, we don't have to go beyond that. I think Stellar is also going to be deep in the states. I think Texas is going to be one of them. But anyway, okay, so we have that little piece, but let's go further. Let's click on it and see, why is Stellar attending this particular panel? There's a lot of panels they could be on, but this one in particular. Everything happens for a reason. Nothing is purposeless. Nothing is without its cause. No effect is without its cause, correct? Right, okay. And before we proceed, remember what Quant said. Quant was very forward with when they had their panels and things. They said, listen, we're going here to talk to partners, to bring in new clients. They were very open with it. Then we heard Ripple say the same thing recently. They said, well, we're here to talk to some of the clients that we have, to sheer up our relationships with them, to bring in new clients. You can read all that yourself. We covered that on the channel, by the way. Showed you the tweets and documents, whatever. We showed you. So let's just take that as the standard mind state going into these panels, that these blockchains are not just here to just talk to the people in the audience, but they understand that the other panelists and some of the people in the front row are people of the government, the banks, regulatory entities, that they're they're going to these events to establish relationships, new partnerships. They know who they're talking to. It's to bring them in. Let's take a look here. This is who's at Consensus with Stellar, who chose to be here, obviously for a reason. The president and CEO of Franklin Templeton is up first. Then you have the CEO, Caitlin Long, of Custodia Bank. You think it's a mistake that Stellar is here? You think? I have to respectfully disagree with you. This is not a mistake. They're going to talk to these people. And they've been pushing hard lately, haven't they, Stellar? We're here to help the infrastructures. Sometimes they completely forget that whole unbanked thing, don't they? Yes, they do. No, we're here to help with the financial infrastructures. We covered that last video, didn't we? We read it right from themselves, Denell Dixon and Stellar. What's the financial infrastructure? That's the banks. That's the banks. And here you are. The CEO of Custodia Bank is here. Well, that's only the president and CEO of Franklin Templeton and the CEO of Custodia Bank. That's nothing. That's nothing. Wait a minute. Wait, who is this? Wait a minute. Who is J. Christopher Giancarlo? Wait a minute, sir. Who are you? Former chairman, U.S. Commodities Futures and Trading Commission. Do you think this is a mistake? No, it's not. No, it's not. Who was Stellar getting cozy with at their panel? Caroline D. Pham, the current leader of the CFTC. You putting the puzzle pieces together? You see that? You see how they're doing it? Sneaky, sneaky, Stellar. But you can't get past us. The former chairman of the U.S. Commodity Futures and Trading Commission. You think they're not going to pass a time with this individual? That would be foolish to be here and not do that as a business person, as a blockchain. That'll be foolish. You think this individual doesn't have connections that Stellar's going to tap into if they have a sit down with this individual? Of course they are. Of course they are. He knows that Caroline D. Pham loves Stellar. He knows that. He stays abreast of everything. He has advisors. Informers. Whatever he said. He has informers. He has advisors. That's right. I hit you with the old informer. Informer. What the heck is he saying? I don't know what he's saying. I don't have to really go too much further. I mean, and these are just some of the people that they're telling us about. They're going to have a lot of people that's not even on this list here. It's going to be insane. And Stellar's there rubbing elbows with them. This is all strategic. This is all strategic. It's a way to let everybody come to one place at one time. And then Denell Dixon does what she does. So I just wanted to put that on your table. But I could be wrong. Hey, I could be completely wrong. I'm just sharing my ideas and what I think. I'm not trying to convince you of anything. I'm just sharing with you. You guys are my people out there, so I'm bringing it to you. All right, so now let's continue on here. We're going to get into a little bit of regular news now, okay? It says here, NASDAQ and S&P Dow extend fall on Fed speak. China unrest and BlockFi files for bankruptcy. U.S. stocks extended their losses on Monday as sentiment was weighed down by hawkish. Oh my goodness, bro, they're so confused at the Fed. 1 minute they're dovish. Wasn't everybody saying that before? And I told you they were going to be hawkish. Didn't I say that? I said that, didn't I? Everybody, all the articles, oh, they're going to be dovish. They're pivoting, and they might. But I also said the Fed, let's wait and see what they say, because they're so flip-floppy. You don't know what the heck, what they're going to say. 1 minute they're dovish, 1 minute they're hawkish. Let's continue on here. It says, was weighed down by hawkish comments from a Federal Reserve speaker and concerns over China's lockdowns and reports of protests. There's a lot of that going on. Markets are coming off a holiday-shortened Thanksgiving week, which saw all three major indices make muted gains. Amid a lull in trading, there was a lot of liquidation going on also, just because, especially in crypto, but not for the reasons that a lot of individuals stated. It's just my humble opinion. There was a lot of liquidations going on because people wanted money for traveling and for the holidays and things of that nature. So so it was about the other article we were talking about in the last video was about stable coins. But yeah, I think it's because people want their money to spend, so they're going to liquidate some of those stable coins so they have a little bit of holiday money. That's how it goes. I don't think that's anything too outlandish to think such a thing. Going into the last hour of trading, the tech-heavy NASDAQ composite was down 1.50% at 11,057.65 points. The benchmark S&P 500, the S&P 500 was 1.52% lower. Oh, so sad. At 3,965.07 points. I'm sorry, I have to entertain myself sometimes. You guys understand I'm sitting in this room here, although I'm talking to you. For me, almost like I'm talking to myself, all right? So I gotta make it fun. While the blue chip Dow DJI fell 1.41% to 33,863.58%. Okay, all right. Crude prices, thank you. Give me something. Crude prices rallied. All right. After initially being weighed down by worries over Chinese demand. It says here, comments from St. Louis Fed President James Bullard, who warned that the markets could be underpricing the risk that the Fed may be more aggressive with rate hikes next year. What did I tell the people? Oh my goodness. Didn't I tell the people? Non-existent person that I'm pretending to talk to. Didn't I say they're going to have to raise rates aggressively? Didn't I say that in order to get inflation down, they have to do 100 basis points? Didn't I say that? Let's pretend there's somebody off camera, right? Yeah, you said that, Alfred, you the man. Yeah, all that good stuff, son. Represent. You heard what I don't know why they sound like a 1990s rapper, probably just because that's cool. But, you know, they pretty much said, if you listen to a non-existent person that's off camera that I pretended to talk to, that I was right. They also said represent. Whatever that means. But look, they're saying the same thing that I was saying. Listen, as a researcher, this is why it's good to be a researcher. You see what's coming beforehand, not based off of wild speculation, based off the research and data. You can see what individuals are saying. And a lot of individuals, not all, have a pattern. They have a pattern. Not only that, take what's logical. Okay, inflation is up here. So you've only brought it down this much with your interest rates right here. You have to bring interest rates up this much in order to get them down here where you want them to be. That's logical. But you have these individuals tricking the people saying, oh, we're going to be dovish. We're going to take the pedal off the metal. And they could do that. But if they do it, it's disastrous. Simple as that. It's disastrous. So it says here, comments from St. Louis Fed President James Bullard, who warned that markets could be underpricing the risk that the Fed may be more aggressive with rate hikes next year. Also weighed on investors. On the other hand, New York Fed President, oh, here go the New York Fed. Oh my goodness. Let me tell you something. The only Fed that I like is the Boston Fed because they pick up their phone and they respond to your emails. I'll leave it at that. On the other hand, New York Fed President John Williams, in an online speech, said that the rapid pace of rate hikes have started to lower demand in the U.S. economy. Oh, so you're just two different Fed presidents saying two different things. Who are you going to trust? Who's more logical? And that a number of factors are improving in regard to inflation. Is that... These are the leaders of the Fed, like this individual here. My goodness. I mean, let me get out of here. Let me get off of this here. What else do we have? Let's go to another article, everyone. Let's talk about gold. Gold always makes me happy. So let's talk about it. Here's an article. This is from CoinGate.com. Make sure you check them out. They're doing a great job over there. Gold, silver, or Bitcoin? Why are you lumping them all together? But let's read this. Best asset to buy amid recession fears. What? Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Are you serious? Is this a question? Well, silver, I'm going to put to the side, but silver has an explosive future ahead. But let's put silver to the side. Let's just take gold and Bitcoin. If you're getting at a low on gold, you're almost losing nothing. Bitcoin, you don't know at this point what's going to happen. Like, don't get me wrong. I think Bitcoin is going to explode in the future. And I don't hold Bitcoin. I don't really cover Bitcoin. But I don't have anything against Bitcoin at all. But I think it's going to explode like 2 or 3 times before it just gets dominated by other superior cryptos like bank coins. However, right now, going into what is in my humble opinion, deceleration we've been in, and we're heading into what's more like a depression than a recession. We've already been in a recession. They even admitted to a technical recession. How much more do we need before these people admit outright across the board we are in a recession? They admitted to a technical recession. Anyway, but yeah, if I'm going to choose one of these, it's going to be gold every single time. Gold. It's not even a question. If you're talking about best asset to buy amid recession fears, yeah, I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with gold. If we're talking about protecting value outright, just protecting it, that's it. Gold. If you're talking about possibly you want to get something where maybe in a few, if it's at a low, because Bitcoin is going very low, but possibly getting something where it's going to explode wildly and you're going to make like insane return on investment, possibly. And of course there's a direct correlation to how much you have to how much you can make. All right. So there's always that. Then, okay, maybe at a low, maybe you might consider Bitcoin, but almost every single time I'm going with, if we're talking about protecting value, because when I hear recession, I'm thinking protect my value at all cost. So in this wild West crypto market, they made it like that, by the way, the legacy system, they made it like that. They set all this up. But anyway, in a market like that, yeah, I'm taking gold every time. If we're talking about protecting value. Okay, let's move on to another article here. We're coming to the end, everybody. We made it. So I have this article here. Canadian dollar depreciates to 1-week low. The Canadian dollar weakened to $1.35 against the dollar, the lowest in a week, as risk-off sentiment seeped back into global markets. And the latest data showed the country's current account balance swung to a deficit. Okay, we're just going to ease away from that. Ease away from that. Oil, one of Canada's major exports, was under pressure amid demand. All right, let's move on to the next one here. Stocks in the United Kingdom. Shout out to all my United Kingdom people out there. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody that's in America, Europe, United Kingdom, South America, Central America, South Africa, all my island people, all my island warriors. Shout out to all the people out there. I love all my people out there. Now, yeah, stocks in the United Kingdom hit 10-week high. GB100 increased to a 10-week high of 7,499. Wheat tumbles to 3-month low in broad sell-off over China protests. You know what I'm talking about? Protests. Chicago wheat fell on Monday to a 3-month low as commodity and equity markets dropped on concern about the impact of rare protests in China. Let's scroll down and read just a little bit more. Funds are likely to extend short positions with wheat prices so low, and modest precipitation last week in parts of Texas and Oklahoma may have improved winter wheat growing conditions, said Terry Riley. I think so also. It's been very, very wet. Senior commodity analyst at Futures International. Corn fell 0.7% and spread trades involving simultaneous purchases of corn and sales of wheat may have limited its losses, Riley said. Soybeans edged up 0.2% to 1438.5 a bushel, supported by U.S. Department of Agriculture's report on an export sale of 110,000 tons to unknown destinations. All right, everyone. So now that you have that information, yep, I made you wait on that one. See, I got to be a little bit unpredictable. What? I almost waited too long and almost forgot my outro. Now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, let's get to the money. By the way, I got a new lamp, by the way. And this orange light here is like making me look like strange, but I guess I'll get used to it. Maybe I'll bring the purple one back. I don't know. Let's get to the money.